This is the S&P 500 one-day reading for February 14th, 2023. It's currently January 6th, 2023, 7:53 p.m. Eastern Time. The overall theme and behavior for the month, the main highlight here for the day, excuse me, I said the month, the day, is a key support level or key price level that we reach. It looks like into a high. We move significantly into a high, and that would go in line with the high significator, which is a notable move higher. This is a second take. I pulled the card to see which direction that Magus was going, and there's a notable move into the high. And you can see that the high also correlates to the Princess of Discs. So, and the Ace of Discs correlates to the Princess of Discs, the theme card, I should say, and the high. So we have a high here midday, and an important price level that we return into support at least momentarily. So there's a little bit of a breakout there. This is like early afternoon. Behavior around the lowest low. We should touch the lowest low twice. After moving up through resistance, staying above it briefly before breaking back down through the same price level. It really looks to me like this behavior is taking place here, right? We have a low correlation, and then we have another low correlation, and in between them is a high correlation, a breakout, followed by the Hangman card, which is the halting of a bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through key support. It's combined with a notable like selling from near overbought territory crest, and then the following card, the last card in the timeline there, really is a brief peak that will not be, or a brief peak that'll be easily missed, I should say. So that behavior is really holding true as far as the high and the low are concerned. I'm advised to trade around and move higher through resistance, stay above it briefly, and then break back down through the same price level with the full retracement back down to where the move higher started. That even goes right into play there. We go from a low to a high, and then we're going to know where to exit a short position, if that makes sense, right? We go from a low to a high, and when we start to turn around, right, provided we get in at that price level, which will be after we break out through it, get in around that price level to the downside, we'll know the exit price level because it'll be a retracement of the earlier low. Pretty solid. In the pre-market, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance. It's resistance that on a technical chart would lead us to believe that we're going to break through. Normally what will happen is you'll hit this resistance level prior to the disappointment card. You'll hit this resistance level, and then you'll fall and falsely establish support, and then you'll come back into the disappointment card, which is when you retest that resistance. Looks like you're breaking through, but then instead you turn around and you break down through that falsely established support. That's the disappointment card. At the open, we have a decline that ends with a fast, sudden move higher into our first prominent high or crest for the day. There's multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance there in that first half hour. Looks like we also have selling from an overbought from a near overbought crest or peak there, around like within the first half hour, around the open somewhere, and then after that, those failed attempts to break through key resistance, the selling they're selling from overbought crest, and then out of oversold territory between 10 and 11 ish, we should see a notable move higher out of oversold territory. Rallying, continuing into like roughly 11 o'clock, where we, between 11 and 12, we see the breakdown of that rally when it's going along a diagonal trend line, and then there's a fast sudden move higher and a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. Decline really kicks in right before 12, and then there's some sideways fluctuations midday on a big move out of the low, sideways fluctuations and a big move out of the low, reaching for the day's high, and then there's a breakout through like the prior day's high. I think is probably where we break out, the prior day's high, where we were doing the failed attempts to break through key resistance early in the day, right here, right? So that would be an opportunity. If you can time the low properly, you could get in on the long side and ride that. Ride it up until we we meet that resistance level. When we break through that resistance level, that's an indication that it's time to sell, and then open up a short position, because we'll come back down shortly thereafter and go back down to the low. We'll know the exit price level because we'll already have seen that price level at the previous low. Pretty solid. And you know, the other thing is that I kind of like, for whatever reason, I threw down another card. I was kind of unconscious in a second, or you know, it was guided through me, but I threw down another trade card. Got the gain card, so a significant move to the upside there midday to reach the high. Sneak preview for the following day. We have I'm advised to be cautious on the 15th. There's a move to the upside, but there's multiple false bottoms, it looks like, in there. And then there's also a prominent trade opportunity and a prominent high that'll stand out there on the February the 15th. All right, guys, so that's the S&P 500 for February 14th, 2023. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that stuff, guys. It's super, super helpful. But really, the most important thing, it's kind of like it's an agreement between the viewers of this channel and the people here at Tarot for Traders on the team. We're providing as much free content as we can. And with that said, the rule of karma must be followed if we're going to be able to continue bringing that to you. But also, the universe will not allow you to profit from this information if you don't follow the rule of karma. That's not putting it off. That's doing it every time, in real time, guys. The only time is now. When you put something off, it's like a metaphysical, like, it's like you're metaphysically, like, making something never happen. So the way that you follow the rule of karma, guys, go to the website Tarot for Traders, click on Resources tab, send 5% to PayPal, 5% of your profits. Listen, guys, if I was still a Wall Street broker, I wouldn't have nearly the same expertise as far as timing the market, for one thing, and I would be charging 3.5% of the total investment in, and then 3 to 3.5% of the total investment out. That's what Wall Street brokers charge, whether or not you make money. 5% of profits is nothing. So please do that, and make sure you send 5% to a charity of your choice. Matter of fact, we should make a tab here for charities. I'm gonna ask Sarah to remind me to do that. And with that said, guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure you spend that money out of love. The universe will send it back to you tenfold in all directions, my friends. Later.